and this is the News at 6 with me, Ishan Goswami. The News at 6 is all about the day's biggest developing stories, and of course the biggest developing story was the promises made by the BJP today in its vision document. Yes, they've come out with a manifesto for, not a manifesto for Delhi, but a vision document. What is that? We'll be telling you over the next half hour. Also, the Congress came out with the second part of its manifesto. So a whole host of promises for the voter in Delhi. The party is making an all-out attempt to woo them at the last minute. We'll be also talking about the Reserve Bank of India, which has left key rates unchanged. Why is that so? We'll be telling you all that and more over the next half hour. But first, the headlines we're tracking right now. BJP releases 270-point vision document for Delhi, lists women's safety and effective and transparent government as its key focus areas. After breakaway outfit alleges it took donations from bogus companies, Aam Aadmi Party seeks SIT probe into funding of all political parties. RBI leaves interest rates unchanged, says no case for reduction now, while hoping that banks will pass on the benefits to consumers from the last rate cut. And Al Jazeera journalist Mohammed Fahmy drops Egyptian citizenship. Canadian authorities say release from jail imminent. The big developing story right now. The Aam Aadmi Party Volunteer Action Manch today reiterated its allegations that the Aam Aadmi Party received donations worth 2 crore rupees from bogus companies. Now, the Aam Aadmi Party denied these allegations again and sought an SIT probe into the funding, and that of the BJP and the Congress as well.
Members of the Awam showing off 2 checks that they claim are proof of Aam Aadmi Party's funding by bogus companies. The group claims that Aam Aadmi Party convener Arvind Kejriwal knew this was a scheme to turn black money into white. Awam now wants AAP to make public the resolution of their political affairs committee.
Awam is going to file a complaint with the economic offences wing of the Delhi police. Awam is going to file another complaint with the enforcement directorate. Awam is going to file another complaint with the registrar of companies that comes under Ministry of Corporate Affairs. And most importantly, Awam is going to file a complaint with the Election Commission of India.
The Aam Aadmi Party, however, claims that the BJP and Awam are working together to malign its name. They have even asked the government to probe the allegations if needed.
क्या वो किसी भी स्वतंत्र एजेंसी, सुप्रीम कोर्ट द्वारा मॉनिटर्ड स्वतंत्र एजेंसी से अपने पूरे फंड की जांच करवाने को तैयार हैं? आम आदमी पार्टी तैयार है.
The Aam Aadmi Party has now written a letter to the Chief Justice of India requesting for a special investigation team to probe the funding of AAP, BJP and Congress. The party has also written to the BJP and Congress presidents to agree to an SIT probe. Awam claims its sole purpose is to unmask the corruption prevalent in Aam Aadmi Party. They also say they have nothing to do with the BJP, though one member in particular had to answer some tough questions.
I did to irritate them. Why? Do you know how much of irritation has come back? I did not join with them. Very clear.
Awam says that the ways through which Aam Aadmi Party collects donations is illegal. They have also questioned the clean chit given to Aam Aadmi Party by the Home Ministry. With Shyam Sundar and Kriti Mishra, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And we're joined by correspondent Shyam Sundar, who's been tracking the developments as far as this story is concerned. And Shyam, I mean, the allegations in this election season, of course, flying thick and fast. But this is one allegation that seems to be slightly sticking to the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP trying to make the most of it at this stage.
Definitely, it's a very, very serious allegation as far as Aam Aadmi Party is concerned. We have to remember that Aam Aadmi Party was born out of a anti-corruption movement led by Mr. Anna Hazare. And if there is even a little substance in these allegations leveled by Awam, then there will not only Aam Aadmi Party will be damaged in Delhi elections, but its very existence will be in question. But I was present in that press conference where 2 checks were presented by Awam members. and I can say that the members who were present in the press conference, they were not able to answer few queries raised by journalists in the press conference. First question was, when did the Awam got these 2 checks from those bogus companies which they claimed to have funded the Aam Aadmi Party? Because till yesterday, Awam didn't make it clear. They said that they got to know that these bogus companies have funded the Aam Aadmi Party, and when they try to find out where these companies are, they didn't find these companies, but within a day they found that company and got 2 checks from that company. And then there is one of the members who were heading the press conference, Mr. Neil. He declared himself on the Facebook that he joined BJP with Miss Kiran Bedi and Shahjah Elmi, though he denied these allegations in the press conference. So there are few questions, but yes, these are very, very serious allegations, especially when Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has backed those allegations.
Yes, in fact, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley also backing those allegations importantly, Shyam. Thanks very much for that update, Shyam Sundar. Of course, we'll be keeping a track of that story for us as it develops. It's days to go, and just 4 days to go, in fact, ahead of the Delhi battle. The BJP today released its vision document. Now, the document lists several promises with a special focus on making Delhi a world-class city, effective governance and women's security. Now, for the first time in 2 decades, the issue of full statehood for Delhi didn't find mention in the party's document, which came in place of a manifesto.
The BJP unveiled a 270-point vision document on Tuesday, which it called a roadmap to make the national capital into a world-class smart city. The party has promised Pakka houses to all slum dwellers by the year 2022, round-the-clock power and water supply, and effective people-friendly government.
दिल्ली अगर हमको वर्ल्ड क्लास सिटी बनानी है तो कंप्लीट रिवैम्पिंग ऑफ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. व्हेन वी से इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर मींस जो दिल्ली में वर्ल्ड क्लास सिटीज में हम देखते हैं, बाहर हमको तार दिखाई देते हैं, कंप्लीट ऑगमेंटेशन होने की जरूरत है. और तब दिल्ली का ये मूलभूत जो सबसे बड़ा प्रश्न है वो ठीक होगा. दिल्ली में किस प्रकार से 24/7 लोगों को बिजली मिले, सस्ती बिजली मिले, ये हमारा कॉज ऑफ कंसर्न है.
The BJP has kept women's safety and security its priority area, issues that have been at the core of its CM candidate Kiran Bedi's campaign.
It will focus on the following urgent and important matters. अब इनमें से किन पर ध्यान दिया जाएगा ज्यादा? अर्जेंट क्या है और इंपॉर्टेंट क्या है? सबसे ऊपर है women's safety and security.
The document promises work on 6 principles, including 100% transparency, unimpeachable integrity, accountability, measurability, fiscal prudence, and zero tolerance towards corruption. It also promises to focus on youth affairs, cleanliness, education, and skill development. A compulsory health insurance for all citizens of Delhi has also been promised by the party. Besides, a promise to protect the people of the northeastern states also finds mention in the Saffron Party's vision document for Delhi. For the first time in 2 decades, the party has not spelled out its position on full statehood to the national capital, which it promised in its manifestos for the 2013 assembly polls and past elections. It also did not release the manifesto this time, while opting for a vision document unlike the other parties. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And the Congress came out with a second part of its manifesto for the Delhi Assembly polls. The party promised to make the national capital free of slums and beggars in the new manifesto. Emphasizing more and better connectivity in the city, the Congress proposed to make Delhi signal-free, create a monorail infrastructure, besides improving metro rail services. It also promised to allow more auto and taxi stands as well as double-decker flyovers in an attempt to ease the growing number of commuters in the national capital. The Congress has also proposed a 1 crore reward for cops killed on duty. The party also criticized the BJP's vision document, which was just released hours before the Congress's manifesto today.
एक कारण तो ये है कि उसके उसी पेज के नीचे लिखा हुआ है लेट्स गो विद मोदी, यानी प्रधानमंत्री जी के साथ हम चलें, और ऊपर हेडिंग है नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न इमिग्रेंट्स टू बी प्रोटेक्टेड. तो क्या भारतीय जनता पार्टी नॉर्थ ईस्ट के हमारे देश के नागरिकों को दूसरे देश का नागरिक मानती है?
दिल्ली में हर रिलीजन को उसकी रिकॉग्नाइजेशन अलग से मिले, चाहे वो जैनिज्म है, चाहे वो सिखिज्म है, बुद्धिज्म है, क्रिश्चियन है, मुस्लिम्स हैं, सबको हम रिकॉग्नाइज करें और कॉम्युनल हार्मनी दिल्ली में करें। मैनिफेस्टो ये कहता है कि हम लोग डबल डेकर फ्लाईओवर्स, अंडरपासेस बना के दिल्ली को सिग्नल फ्री सिटी बनाने की कोशिश करेंगे। दिल्ली में मोनो रेल और लाइट रेल्स ये जहां जो है वो जाल बिछाया जाएगा, वहीं मेट्रो के नेटवर्क को भी जो है तेजी से बढ़ाया जाएगा।
And now we're joined by Aditi Fadnish. She's a political editor at the Business Standard. Many thanks for joining us, Aditi. Very simply, why a vision document was necessitated for the BJP? Why wasn't a manifesto good enough? And the Congress coming out with even more promises immediately after the vision document comes out. The political parties leaving no stone unturned, no promise unkept.
Well, it will be really nice if all the promises are kept, because then Delhi will be heaven on earth.
Yeah.
I'm really not sure why it was a vision document and not a manifesto. I mean, same difference, frankly. I do believe that there are many things in the vision document that the party promises to implement. Statehood is not one of them. But statehood, okay, you can live with that. There are several other things that they want to do, especially for women's security, which Kiran Bedi is very keen on. So comparatively, I think more or less all the parties have promised the same things, but I would say that the Aam Aadmi Party's manifesto is somewhat more thoughtful and somewhat more carefully structured than the other two.
All right, we talked about the manifestos. I want to go back to the story that we talked about earlier about Awam and those allegations of money laundering. Now, just 4 days to go before the polls, and the allegations continue to fly thick and fast, Aditi. So, I mean, do we see silly season happening in politics and more such allegations coming out and more such dirt being thrown at each other?
Certainly, and the Prime Minister also referred to these allegations today in his at his rally in Rohini.
Right.
Look, allegations are all part of a game, and I'm sure, although the Congress has not yet reacted on any of the charges that Awam has made, I'm sure it will before long. What Awam has said is odd, but it's also odder still when you consider that the check that they are supposed to have flourished or brandished today has come from a company which, when we checked, did not exist.
Right.
So, frankly, where did the check come from then? So, if these companies do not exist, and if they are working out of makeshift premises where people earn 2,000 rupees a day and are taught to stitch sequins on clothes, then there's something not quite kosher about the whole thing. So there are several questions which are very odd, and of course, as your story also pointed out, the fact is that one of those members of Awam is also a member of the BJP. So which does not make him the most unbiased judge of Aam Aadmi Party's fund collection. Aam Aadmi Party has a very clear and transparent system of fund collection.
Right.
That is what we understood. Now, I think it's very difficult to get around that.
All right, so we'll see how this issue develops, but do stay on with us, because you mentioned the fact that Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a rally in Delhi, and we'll just talk about that and come back to you, because he hit the campaign trail today, and addressing a rally in Rohini, he took on the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress in equal measure. Earlier in the day, the party's chief ministerial face, Kiran Bedi, also held rallies in her constituency, Krishnanagar.
Bharat Mata Ki!
With just 4 days to go for polls in Delhi, BJP stepped up its campaigning on Tuesday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi led the campaign trail with a rally in Rohini. This is Modi's third of 4 planned rallies ahead of the elections. Criticizing both the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party in his speech, Modi claimed they wasted 16 years of rule in Delhi.
कांग्रेस पार्टी ने आपके 15 साल बर्बाद कर दिए, फिर दूसरे टेम्पररी आए, वे छोटे थे, नए थे, ताकत कम थी, तो 15 साल तो बर्बाद नहीं कर पाए, 1 साल आपका तबाह कर दिया इन लोगों ने। अब हमारी जिम्मेवारी है इन 16 साल की बर्बादी में से दिल्ली को बाहर निकालना।
He slammed Arvind Kejriwal's party for the controversy surrounding its funding. Taking a dig at AAP, he questioned its claim of clean politics.
जो लोग स्विस बैंक में किसका अकाउंट है, उसके अकाउंट नंबर जेब में लेकर के घूमते थे, उन्हें यह मालूम नहीं कि उनके अकाउंट में किसके पैसे आते हैं, बोले हमें मालूम नहीं।
Modi also promised to make Delhi a world-class city. He also criticized the Congress for raising questions over his government's performance in the last 9 months.
दिल्ली को दुनिया के भिन्न भिन्न देशों की राजधानी के बराबरी का माहौल चाहिए, विकास चाहिए, अवसर चाहिए, बदलाव चाहिए। और इसलिए भाइयों बहनों, आज देश की जिम्मेवारी बनी है कि देश की राजधानी कैसी हो, और जब देश की राजधानी उसका खाका मैं खींचता हूं, जरा चित्र मेरे मन में बनाता हूं, तो मुझे लगता है कि ये जिम्मेवारी मुझे भी निभानी चाहिए।
BJP's chief ministerial candidate Kiran Bedi, who was present at this rally, also campaigned earlier in the day in Krishnanagar. Narendra Modi will address one more rally before the campaigning ends on Thursday. With inputs from Vishal Daya, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Our correspondent Vishal Daya was tracking these big rallies that have been happening in the national capital, and he joins us live from Delhi. Thanks very much for coming in, Vishal. Very quickly, the BJP is making it a matter of prestige for itself. I mean, the Prime Minister addressing rallies, there are 120 MPs out there trying to rally the forces. How's it going on the ground? What is your assessment as far as the poll crescendo reaching its peak now?
Well, yes, it is just 3 days to go before the people come out and start casting their vote for electing a new government in Delhi. But then, yes, if you look at the BJP's poll campaign, it is more or less, more directed towards the Aam Aadmi Party. Perhaps, even the Prime Minister was mindful of this fact that there might be a direct clash between BJP and Aam Aadmi Party as far as choice for the voters is concerned. That is why we saw during that speech which he gave today in the Northwest Delhi, almost 30% of that speech was devoted to criticizing Aam Aadmi Party and its leader on several aspects. He made quite a few interesting punches out there against Aam Aadmi Party, though did not let go of Congress as well. But then, given by the the kind of attention which has been given from the BJP leaders to the Aam Aadmi Party, it is quite clear that BJP is not in a mood to leave any gap or any chance for the Aam Aadmi Party leaders to try and cash in on. So that is why they're doing all they can, be it bringing in the Prime Minister, the tallest leader in the party, in the field. There is one more rally, as we were saying in the report, by the Prime Minister before the campaigning will come to an end.
All right, Vishal Daya will be keeping a track of all those developments as they happen. Thanks very much for coming in, Vishal, and sharing those details with us. Aditi Fadnis, of course, the political editor of Business Standards, is with us in the studio. And we'll just throw the last question to you, Aditi. As far as the personality clash, now this has almost become a presidential style of election, and I mean, Narendra Modi got the benefit of it in the Lok Sabha elections, but now he himself has to come down to take on Kejriwal.
Well, I mean, it's logical that he should take on Kejriwal, and Kejriwal is the chief ministerial candidate of AAP. So I'm not sure if that means it's a presidential form of campaign. But certainly the Prime Minister has hit out at his principal opponent, which puts Kejriwal as the person who the BJP fears most at this point.
Alright, so the BJP making it a matter of prestige, do you think it has sort of not gone down well, or could have backfired a little bit?
No, I think it's important that BJP get Delhi, and it is a matter of prestige for the BJP. It has done quite well in Maharashtra, it has done very well in Haryana, it has not done so well in Jharkhand, but nevertheless Delhi is the seat of power, and it will be very odd if the BJP loses to AAP. So it is a matter of prestige, but we have to see, we'll know on the 10th. It's a very, very interesting election.
Indeed, certainly interesting election. Thanks very much, Aditi Fadnis, for coming in and helping us understand a little better as far as the politics of Delhi is concerned. For now, on that, we'll take a very quick break, but we'll be right back with lots more.
In the Maths Factor, we travel through time and space and see how maths has evolved and how it is a part of the world around us. Join us on Rajya Sabha television. Watch the Maths Factor every Sunday at 8 a.m.
Welcome back. You're with News at 6. Now, let's talk about the RBI, which has held interest rates as steady at 7.75% after easing monetary policy just 3 weeks ago. Now, in its 6th bi-monthly monetary policy review, the central bank tried to boost banks' liquidity in a bid to persuade them to lower lending rates.
RBI came out with its 6th bi-monthly monetary policy review on Tuesday, and there were no surprises on RBI Chief Raghuram Rajan's birthday. The central bank decided to keep lending rates unchanged after a rate cut on 15th of January outside policy review cycle. The repo rate at which RBI lends money to banks remained at 7.75%. Cash reserve ratio, the amount of funds that the banks have to keep with RBI, was left unchanged at 4%. To encourage banks to lend more, the central bank reduced the statutory liquidity ratio by 50 basis points to 21.5% from 22%. SLR is the minimum portion of net deposits that banks must hold in government bonds. RBI governor said that further rate cut may not happen before the union budget.
And that it will depend on developments, in particular on developments on the fiscal front, as well as a continuation of the disinflationary process.
Industry expressed its disappointment as falling inflation had rekindled its hopes of cheaper loans.
जनवरी 15 के बाद ऐसा कुछ नहीं हुआ है कि फिर तुरंत और एक रेट कट करना जरूरी हो गया था.
Analysts feel that the monetary policy stance of the RBI is on expected lines.
As an industry voice, we have been asking for a reduction in the interest rate. Hopefully, at some point of time, we will have a more substantial interest rate cut.
However, the Reserve Bank has increased the amount Indians can invest or spend abroad in foreign exchange without seeking its permission. Individuals can now buy property abroad, hold shares or debt instruments, or purchase gifts up to a limit of 1.5 crore rupees per person per year. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
Some international news now, and Canadian-Egyptian journalist Mohammed Fahmy today dropped his Egyptian citizenship as he continues to fight for release from a Cairo prison. Fahmy and his two Al Jazeera colleagues, Peter Gress and Bahir Mohammed, were arrested in December 2013 and convicted of supporting the banned Muslim Brotherhood group. Gress was freed on Sunday.
To 10 years.
2 days after the release of Al Jazeera journalist Peter Greste from an Egyptian prison, there are indications that Canadian-Egyptian journalist Mohammed Fahmy could be next. Canadian government said diplomatic efforts to free Fahmy are going well.
Minister, can you tell me about Mr. Fahmy? How are your diplomatic efforts trying to go? Very good. Is he going to get out soon? What are we going to get? So, can you say that again? Imminent. Thank you.
Like Greste, Mohammed Fahmy renounced his Egyptian citizenship to secure his release. A presidential decree allows foreigners on trial to be returned to their home countries. Australian journalist Peter Greste was freed on Sunday and deported after 400 days behind bars. While Fahmy is expected to be deported to Canada, it is not immediately clear what will happen to Mohammed, who has only Egyptian citizenship.
I know that there is Mohammed Fahmy and Bahir Mohammed and the 7 other people that were convicted alongside us in absentia and 4 others that had nothing to do with our case who are serving prison sentences. And so amidst all of this relief, I still feel a sense of concern, a real sense of worry, because if it's appropriate for me, if it's right for me to be free, then it's right for all of them to be free.
The 3 Al Jazeera English journalists were arrested in 2013 on charges of collaborating with the banned Muslim Brotherhood after former President Mohammad Morsi was ousted by the military. All 3 denied the allegations and called their trial a sham. Fahmy and Greste were jailed for 7 years and Mohammed to 10. Their sentences sparked an international outcry. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, that's it from us. Goodbye. News.